Hi, everyone. This is Sean with the MassSupport Network here with the COVID-19 update for Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. We'll change up a little bit about how the updates work. On Tuesdays, I'll just do a quick check-in with any important developments and a look at how vaccinations are going around the country. Friday, we'll still do the full updates. So the developments right now, the big one is, of course, that the CDC has released preliminary guidance for people who have received both of their vaccines. This is very important as for a long time it was unclear how life would be different for people who had been vaccinated. This is also just preliminary guidance. As we get more data on transmission among people who are vaccinated, we'll revise this later in the year. So in late spring or early summer, we'll probably have a different version of this. But the big takeaways from this are that if you've received your vaccine, gotten both doses, if getting Moderna or Pfizer, and it's been 2 weeks since your last dose, you can visit other people who are vaccinated as well in your home without masks, without distancing. You can have a normal dinner party if everyone in the group is vaccinated. Now, if you're vaccinated, you can also visit a single household that is unvaccinated if they are low risk. Both that means low risk for catching COVID in the first place or a low risk for complications. So people who don't have the various underlying conditions that lead to worse cases of COVID, like COPD or asthma or heart disease. So in these cases, you could, if you're vaccinated, have a small gathering without masks. However, they recommend against combining more than one household because that increases the one more household of unvaccinated people, because that increases the risk for transmission between those unvaccinated people. And also, if any of the people in the unvaccinated group are at higher risk, you should still use all the precautions, wear masks, meet outside, etc., as those people are more likely to get or suffer serious cases of COVID. Finally, people who are vaccinated do not need to quarantine or get tested after exposure unless they are showing symptoms. It's just a smaller change there, but still important. It will also tie up less testing facilities and allow people who are vaccinated to spend less time in quarantines. So these are just preliminary guidance. Remember, these are just for people who have been fully vaccinated. This is a couple of steps forward, but there's some hope that this will increase vaccine acceptance when there's just more things you can do once you've been vaccinated. And also, there's one common thing when people were concerned about transmission between vaccinated people is that, like, well, what's the point then if you can still transmit the virus? These showing some ways that we can move forward, get a little bit of return to normalcy as people begin to become vaccinated. Speaking of which, let's check in on the vaccine progress around the country and here in the state. So 116 million vaccines have gone out to the United States. 2.4 million of those have come to Massachusetts. So 92 million vaccines have been given across the country, 2.1 of those here at home. So in terms of people vaccinated, that means just over 60 million people have gotten at least one dose. That is 23.5% of the adult US population. I'm saying just the adult population because the vaccines for the most part are not authorized for people younger than 18. The Pfizer vaccine can go as low as 16, but that doesn't significantly change the numbers there. Here in Massachusetts, we've vaccinated 1.4 million people. So that's 25.2% of the Massachusetts population, adult population, has gotten at least one vaccine. In terms of second doses, there's 31 million people across the country and 715,000 here in Massachusetts. So we are ramping up slowly but steadily, generally doing about 2 million vaccines a day, as the rate is still increasing, and making progress that at this rate, at least 90% of all Americans would get at least one dose by the beginning of the fall, but that rate is going faster and faster as we start to do more vaccinations per day. One final thought as we go into our week. This is just the Massachusetts vaccination schedule. Just a reminder to everyone that Part 3 of phase 2 starts on Thursday. That includes teachers and a lot of essential workers who will become eligible for vaccination starting Thursday. Be aware of there. Sources from the New York Times, mass.gov, and of course, the CDC. And for more from the MassSupport Network, you can find us on our website or on social media. And remember, wear your mask, wash your hands, and we'll be there if you need us. Stay safe.